Good morning, traders. And of course, you guys are seeing it. Just yesterday, it seemed like there might have been some profit taking in tech. Well, it wasn't enough profit taking, maybe, because Nvidia just ripping through the roof. One of the biggest moves we've seen in a long time. This is affecting, of course, all the market today. We'll talk all about it right here on live trading. And let me know what's your top watch today so we can check it out.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning out there, guys. I'm ready to get after it. And of course, I got the boys with me. We got Ryan Faluna in the house. We got Zunaid definitely smashing it on up. And I never know if Zunaid's looking at me or not because he lives that AI life, baby. I will say one thing, though.
What's up?
That's all I got to say, Zunaid.
Oh, the tie? You killed it. Hey, look.
I
can take an L. I can take an L. Like I said, I surrender the white flag.
I'll tell you one thing, though. I was actually a little jealous of your AI eyes.
Boy, really?
Yeah, because I could tell. I could tell you were just reading, looking down. You were like, man, I don't need to look at this guy anymore. I got AI to help me out on that one.
That's the beauty of it, right? I mean, you don't really know if I'm reading a script at the moment or not. I can shake my head like this, and you just think I've got everything freaking memorized because that's how good I am.
The future. Got to be smart,
you think
right?
AI? You think Nvidia just went to 400 for no reason? Come on, man.
You think we got to be smart anymore?
App, duh.
That's what it is. You would think I would have invested my last $150 on it, but you know, whatever.
We don't need to be smart no more. We need to be what? Resourceful. As you guys see, my man Zunaid, resourceful here.
Smart,
and you guys out there, right? Figure out ways to include AI in your daily kind of living, right? And I think that this is what we need to do. All of us do, right? Lean in, learn how to use it to help you, not necessarily take control of your life, but to help you become more effective. As you guys see it, Zunaid figuring out a smart way to go ahead and do what? Well, there you go. Deliver speeches and look like you're looking perfectly at the camera, right? That's what it's all about, using stuff, right? Hey, I mean, soon I'm sure the president will be using the same thing, right? Let's just be honest. All right. And he probably got it from Zunaid, so don't worry about that one. Let's get to the action. Let's start taking a look at the stocks. Of course, we can see what kind of stocks are moving on the day. I still only have NCLH. I kept that from yesterday. I put the stop yesterday. Got out of Lamb Research, got out of a lot of trades. So today's going to be one of those days where I just reassess and can get back into the market, as it seems like we're getting a little bit of a tech rally. I'm going to kick it straight to my man Ryan's charts. Of course, he does a really good outlook on the S&P 500. You don't need mine. My man Ryan got you.
Okay, well, first of all, I don't know if AI has any type of program to keep you awake, which is what would be needed. Forget the eyes for the president. Lol. Also, as far as NCLH goes, I actually saw a report this morning that cruise lines are reporting 100% occupancy rates. So I think those actually might be good trades to the long side.
Who talked about busy cruise lines here 3 weeks ago?
I think Mitch did when he went on his cruise. Boots on the ground reporting, folks. That's what it's all about. All right, let's take a look at the SPY here. As Mitch said, and I'm sure as all of you aware, Nvidia went absolutely beast mode yesterday. And just to give you an idea of what's going on, not only did they beat on the top and bottom line, but the guide was stunning. I can't come up with another word for it. It's basically they guided $4 billion over the estimate. $4 billion. Now, the key here is I didn't see a full year estimate. If any of you have it, let me know. I'm wondering if they're pulling some of their estimates forward in that guide. But in any case, massive move on Nvidia. Huge move. That's going to have more of an effect on the Qs. Looking here at the market. Hang on one sec here. Oh no, where is it? There we go. Okay, looking more at the market, the SPY is up Dow is down and NASDAQ is obviously way up. Now, when we take a look at the SPY here, we did come down to that 410.68 level. We bounced off of it. We'll see how strong the bounce is given this Nvidia report. One of the other things to keep in mind about this is that other AI names are now trading up this morning in sympathy with Nvidia. So that's something for us to watch, especially in small cap land as we get over there. SPY still in this sideways area. To me, no new direction until we really break out of the top or continue to break down. We'll see where we close. I definitely want to watch how the market trades today, see if any of this gets reversed, see if Nvidia bleeds back any of its gains. Those are going to be top things for the broader market to watch. Now let's go quickly and dive into some of the movers so I can turn this over to Zunaid. I'm going to go back to pre-market here, and I'm going to change the market cap filter here. Okay, and we're going to do this. Okay, boom. Okay, now, first stock on the list here is going to be BMR. Now, this is Beamer Imaging. We popped as high as 679, come all the way back down here to a mid-5 handle, right by the VWAP. This one really interesting to me. This one also trading up in sympathy with Nvidia. Let me show you. Just want to mark off a couple of these lines here real quick. Okay, let's go to the news feed and check out the catalyst here. There's a PR here. NVIDIA announces the release of NVEC Video Codec SDK 12.1, showcasing the integration with Beamer, this company. So NVIDIA, huge earnings. We got a PR here about a joint venture with NVIDIA. Stacks up 138% as of right now, was up about 200% at the highs. So this one likely to be wild today. Whether or not that is a huge, that product integration, whatever, is a huge thing. I think just because of the momentum, this stock might be in play today. Now, we're going to wait for a setup, especially if we trade this in the small account. I'm really hurting there, so I've got to be as conservative as possible. But in the big account where we can be a little bit more aggressive, this might also be in play. So keep BMR on your radar today for sure. NA, Nanolabs, this popped as high as $4.75. It's come all the way back down to $2, bleeding back almost all of its gains. We've seen this with some of the other stocks before, and we've seen that when they actually find the bottom, sometimes they do bounce, and maybe that would give us a long side trade here. In terms of levels, just judging by the pre-market performance here, a little bit difficult to think that we challenge this 475 pre-market high, but stranger things have happened before. Looks like we are pretty much at support here, right around 210-ish. I'd go ahead and mark this off as well, and then also this line here. So we'll see if we're able to get up there. Actually, I probably should throw one more in here, right in there, 393. So we'll see. Nanolabs. Now, if you click over to the news here in Benzinga Pro on Nanolabs, you can see we really don't have anything. So maybe this is just kind of trading with the market. Maybe this was a room pump, something like that. Who knows? But let's keep this on watch here. One more to mention. I actually was just reminded here. I wanted to check GSIT because this is likely to move today as well. You can see we're up here in the pre-market. Let's see if we can take the top off. Looks like 620. Would be the level. I know we went a little bit higher here, but it sure looks like 620 is the actual resistance point. So let's see if GSIT gets fired up today on the back of Nvidia as well. Next is going to be IFBD, and you can see 213 was a line that we had from the previous day, or from a previous session, excuse me. Looks like we are finding some support here. We're right below VWAP. Let's see if this curls and moves. That would be awesome. WTT, I believe this is a buyout. CORR looks like this one is trying to go too. This is Core Energy. Now we'll see if energy is in play here today. Definitely a couple of levels to keep in mind on Core here, CORR. This looks to be about it. So we're pushing away from the VWAP now. Let's see what happens when the market actually opens. I think I went through this one. Beat, this is Heartbeam. We did pop here. Again, let's mark off the highs here just in case we get crazy here today, and then mark off some of the support levels. Again, this also under VWAP, so some pretty good setups here. Dish was popping here. I think this was on earnings, wasn't it? Someone help me out. Let's check the news feed and see. Zunaid, I'm wrapping up here, so get ready.
Oh, you're good,
Dish Network's in talks to sell wireless plan through Amazon. Was not earnings, excuse me. So this is popping here on a potential move to sell a service through Amazon. We'll see if that goes. And then one of the other ones I wanted to mention was QBTS. This yesterday had a nice move, actually scalped this for, I think, only like 5 cents in the aftermarket near the end of the day here. QBTS looking like this is going to have another run today. And then, as I mentioned already, keep an eye on some of those other AI names, Bullfrog AI, Soundhound, BB AI, some of those smaller cap names that are likely to move with NVIDIA today. All right, Zunaid, what do you got for us?
All right, let's go ahead and check out AI since that's the talk of the town. You've got 32.51. That's going to be your pre-market highs. Look to clear that. If you're looking for a support trade, I think you've got $30 right over there. You can see pre-market. We've tested it twice and we've held. If this one comes down a buck, you can go ahead and see if you can find some support. Let's go ahead and take a look at Nvidia. This has made people very rich, and hopefully, I hope, matter of fact, type of one in the chat if y'all traded Nvidia calls. I would just love to know how many of you. We've got 500 folks here almost. Would love to know how many of you are in this trade. $400, and no one's surprise, is going to be the resistance, right? We are at all-time highs, so that's great. Now I will go ahead and set an alert here, and it's been a minute since I've kind of picked up like a true YOLO, but man, if this thing breaks 400, I might just go ahead and buy like a 405 call and then just say, you know what, this is what I'm going with. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But keep an eye on 400 if this one decides to go all the way past that. We're currently down $9 from that $400 level, but that's not the only ticker. We got to look at Symphony. Look at that. We got at least 5 people that have been active in the chat and let us know. So that means there's got to be at least like 20, 30 of y'all at the minimum that are just kind of like lurkers that have played it. But let's talk about AMD, because this one had a nice little run up thanks to Nvidia here as well. You've got a range, in my opinion, of approximately 120. So you can see after hours, that was a high. Couldn't quite break it in the pre-market. And you've also got support that held after hours and also in pre-market at that 116 level. We're about $1.70 away from that. So you can keep an eye on those things. My eyes, yes, I am powered by AI. And we can talk a little bit more about that. But let's go ahead and see if there are any tickers that y'all have in terms of AI. Please let me know. I'd love to go over them because I'm not familiar with all of them. But here's the 410 level on the SPY, SPY. You can see how well it held, just kind of based around a little bit, found great support. And obviously the push came after the Nvidia reports, as that gave it a nice little move to the upside on that one. Let's see if there is anything else that we kind of want to talk about here. Let me go to remove these things right around here. If you're looking to play a little bit of Tesla, I think you've got to get past this 187.50 level. You can see that was the after hours high and also the pre-market high that we're looking to push through on ticker TSLA. Let's take a look at Micron, as that's got to do with chips as well. You can see that was a nice move. They had a awful earnings, or I think, was it earnings? No, it was the China news. That's what it was. And they've got earnings coming up. So if you want to kind of play Micron, now I will say this, fundamentals, I don't know how involved they are with AI and things like that. I've got no clue. So please make sure you do your own due diligence. But I'm just keeping an eye on 70, because if this one pops $70, maybe you can get a move to the upside. And those are like the chip related stocks that I am currently looking at. Let's see what else we've got. Meta to the upside, $50 is just kind of toying around with it. I would have loved for that to be a little bit more of a support or resistance area, but nothing really much there on that one. These are let's take a look at Netflix as well. On Netflix, it tried to stay above this 364, but unfortunately, it's right back down by $8. But keep an eye on it though. If we can go ahead and reclaim this 364, maybe we can see some highs of about 372 or 370s at the very least. Let's go ahead and take a look at Qualcomm. That's another good one. Qualcomm, all right, about a 101. Man, if it came down near $100, I definitely would be interested in playing this one. But there's Qualcomm holding support at approximately 101 to the downside at the moment. But we'll see how that one wants to go ahead and perk its way up. Let's take a look at Microsoft as well. You can possibly have a little bit of support coming in at 322.50s on that one. Oh, you know what? I want to take a look at Google, because I know there's been a lot of AI talk there as well. 126. Resistance right over there. If it can break, if we can break above 126, I think we can go ahead and continue marching high. But of course, you want to try to go ahead and buy it on that retest. There is the bell. Best of luck to you. And let's see what we've got. Main focus for me right now is going to be AI, the actual ticker AI. Let's see if we can go ahead and get some shares here. 30.06 is where I'm looking to buy.
Watching some of the names here.
All right, we just got filled. Maybe my stop loss is a little too tight.
BMR's first move here is up. It's wild and a little bit spread, so not trading that right out of the gate here.
Yeah, my stop loss might be a little too tight. I like my entry. I don't know if I like my stop loss.
BMR going above that first level. Wow, big pop here in BMR.
Yeah, let me put your.
Let's see if 682 is in play here. There it is, through 682, 694 now, over 7. So huge move here on BMR. Didn't take this out of the gate. Felt a little risky, but man, this is already launching. Dave, you're absolutely right. Already launching here.
All right, on AI, quick trade, quick out. Nvidia now starting things off to the downside. Not the biggest surprise with profit taking, options being closed out, all that other good stuff. You do have someone betting on a 380. Okay, so now you're getting 380 puts. Oh my goodness, 380 puts to the downside on Nvidia expiring this week. Approximately $1 million worth, but it's. I'm not sure if this has anything to do with. They're coming in on the ask, but I don't see the ask price moving. I do see the spot moving down. So interesting trade there. Let me actually see if there's anything I want to trade on this effect. Let's see.
So NA, that ticker from the list that we had that was selling off here, trading straight up out of the gate. Sometimes it's tough to predict these ones. Let's see how many of these levels we clear off. Be interested in this when it gets towards the VWAP. I actually think we might be due for a halt here. This is a pretty big move, 40-cent move already. So we'll take a look. We'll take a look. Zune, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you, pal.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out how
SMCI busting through 200.
Oh, I think I got something for you on that ticker. Hang on one sec. SMCI, you've got the $200 calls coming in on the ask. Purchase about 200 calls for about $100,000.
QBTS right at VWAP. Not surprised to see some of the profit taking in Nvidia right here. Just such a huge move. Anyone playing for earnings is likely taking gains, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
and we continue to pull here, though.
Play it myself. I'm having a hard time.
Palantir higher and trying to bounce here off the first move out of the open. BMR still hovering around 7.
The next area of support on Nvidia that I've got is approximately 370, 370. Let's see what the SPY is doing. Yeah, SPY to the downside as well.
Here's Core, also from the list.
Nvidia, where are you? Yeah, I'm not sure how to. No, we saw the puts coming in, right? And then we saw about a $7 bleed since the puts came in. But is it really a bleed when the stock's up about 30+%? But here's almost a test of 370s.
Here's, I'm gonna put you're watching Nvidia, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Question is, do I have the courage to trade it?
Tajal saying Nvidia chart won't load on his Charles Schwab account. Yikes.
Oh.
BMR continuing to go higher here. Sorry, Zaid.
You're good. You will try some Nvidia 370.07s if we get filled. Just 25 shares because I genuinely am not sure how this one's going to play out.
Ryan saying that he did a bull credit spread, not a call debit spread yesterday. So his profit was limited, but a win is a win. Ryan, that is absolutely the right attitude. We had no idea the beat was going to be this high at Nvidia. So a win is a win. Even if your profit was up, even if your upside was limited, so too was your risk. So keep that in mind.
CMCI, super microcomputer, $8 move since the 200 break. So those CMCIs, right? They were purchased at 931. The $200 calls are $5. I'm curious what they're going for now. Man, my freaking mouse.
Is your broker struggling too? Well,
No, it's my mouse. No, it's my mouse. My Moomoo works just fine, and TradingView connection and everything is good.
Everything looks good on my end. TD Ameritrade Moomoo was.
Yeah, everything looks good on my end. You can see the 120 on AMD. Where to go? You can see the 120 on AMD held as resistance right there.
Sorry, I'm a little late, guys. Wife had a doctor's appointment, so I was saying bye to her.
Hope everything's all right.
Hope everything's okay. Good luck.
Yeah, everything's okay. Just classic, appointment. But let's see what we get today, guys. Let's find out, man. I feel like the market wants up. Can we get it? Can we get it? You know what's one thing that's very important? We went back down to that 410 area where we held for so long on the daily support. And yesterday, did you guys see how that was holding 410s like crazy? The SPY?
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that. Yeah.
It was insane. And I think that's very important level. Like that's where definitely our support is. We ever break that, we got to be a little bit worried. But a little pullback here and then coming back towards like yesterday's action, like let's say 412.35s. That's what I'm going to look for to then catch the dip. I know there's some dip buyers out there that are looking. Let's just see if we can get the dips. You guys see any AI plays making moves? You guys let me know.
Nah, it's AI. The ticker itself is still having a tough time getting over 30.
Yeah, of course you're going to see some downside action probably here out the gates, but I'm looking to see what can catch a bounce, right? And where they can catch the bounce is very important.
BBAI and SOUN both doing exactly what Mitch is saying, trading down here in sympathy with Nvidia. Let's see if we find a spot for those to bounce at all.
Yeah, I'll be looking for things like hourly supports to come into play, right? Because if those can give you a nice solid level to risk off of, then we'll have a little bit of that red to green action here. That's what I'm looking at. And I'll be looking at more like 9:45, 10 a.m. reversal. And of course, take everything with a little grain of salt like I would do for myself even. If I see it reversing a little earlier, I got to be a little patient, but I'm really looking to see that red to green move today.
Yeah, you've got 350 puts coming in on Nvidia now. This thing is it's gonna be interesting to see if we go ahead and touch the 350. I'm in this trade. As soon as I saw the puts, I wanted to cancel it, but I already got in. And it ain't looking pretty. I'm about to lose out on this one, but keep an eye on the 350. That's the only other level that I try to catch a falling knife, quote unquote, since the open. But besides that, it's just been straight downside movement on Nvidia.
GSIT going higher. GSIT looking like it's going to go through 6.
Looking fly in my G6.
In my G6. Let's go, baby. What we going to get today? I'm looking for a team. I want to trade some Moomoo action. I will let you guys know. I started this with my sponsorship on Start Swing Trade. I've been getting with more kind of prop firms and stuff. So in a little bit, not right now because I'm kind of enjoying the action right now, but in like the next week, starting I think Monday, I'm gonna actually put away kind of one of the accounts that I use for some day trading, some swing trading. I'm gonna actually take that one down and I'm gonna focus on a prop evaluation account. So I'm gonna be doing day trading there, day trading on Moomoo, and just trying to focus on 2 challenges at once, which will be a little difficult for me.
Yeah, good luck,
but man. I think it's really fun to like test my levels, and especially tough markets. This is tough markets. Nice little pullback level here on Palantir. I'm looking for a nice little pullback into the 1244s, close to that 1250, to then see if we can get a little bit of a bounce.
Who are you using for your prop?
Trade the plan. So,
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I already got an account. Oh, trade the pool. My bad. Trade the pool.
Gotcha.
So I'll let you guys check that one out. And of course, if you want to learn more about that, this isn't really the show for it, but you come over to Start Swing Trade. I can talk to you guys about that, and you guys can take a look. What I like about that is they have different type of accounts, of course, and they actually started with more kind of Forex and then moved over to stocks. I had the CEO on yesterday. He trades the account, and they're doing a competition right now. If you guys like a little bit more like paper challenge, stuff like that. But right now, I'm trying to get a nice trade on Moomoo here as we pull back on Palantir. I'm looking for the 1250s. Let's see if I can get it. Of course, on the Moomoo account, I have been pushing pretty strong here. And you guys see some dips, right? Some dips in this kind of equity curve. But the truth is, keeping it riding on a steady linear path. And I think a lot of that is just going to keep in mind. Mitch, don't try to go for the home run. Let's keep thinking $10 to $15 on wins, $4 to $6 on losses. We can't let one loss go to 10. Unless we're starting to go for $20 on the upside. And this is the important thing, I think, where a lot of traders start dropping off their discipline. They start doing well, then they go for I'll tell you right now, guys, it's going to take a long time before I get a $50 win in this account. Can I take that sizing sometimes with some of these smaller plays? Yes. The truth is I open myself up to too much risk there. My idea is 2% up on a day. That's $10. 1% down is about 5.35. So I can go ahead and try to have 2% days up, 1% days down, or lower than 1% days down. That's the goal.
By the way, sorry, we talked about how I wasn't happy with my stop loss, and I was happy with my entry, but not my stop loss. My stop loss was right here, which is literally about 50 cents from where it went ahead and started moving up from. So terrible stop loss placement by me, but the idea itself worked on that 270. I should have kind of witnessed and noticed that. But Megan, I hope if you did take the trade, you're able to make some money, as we're now about $6 away from the entry price. But I played that terribly. That's on me.
By the way, GSIT, back saying good call on GSIT. Yeah, that moved here early. So GSIT, big mover. No position for me. It didn't take it here, but definitely a good move right through that VWAP on GSIT. We'll see what else sets up here.
Yeah, AI does report in a few days. Reports on the 1st of June.
Looking for pullbacks potentially into the 1090s on Carnival Cruise Lines. We just made a move to 1120s. Want to get a support test towards that 1089, 1090s, and then come back up through 11 later in the day.
GSIT still going higher.
BSIT.
GSIT, yep.
Sees it. I sees it. Nice little 620 resistance. It just popped above. Maybe it comes back to that level. You'd have to risk off, I'd probably think close to 6, right? I mean, that's the way I would look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like this to come back in towards the VWAP before I take a stab at it. Otherwise, I feel like I'm being too aggressive like I've been past couple of days. Yep. Would add a little to Portillo's if it drops under 20. We'll watch that. Be patient on that one. No rush.
Yeah, the GSIT doesn't look too bad as long as it can hold that 575 on the day. There's about 2 attempted runs towards major resistance. The resistance is around $7. So I also think that that's in play today for a move to 7. I personally would be also maybe selling right into that 7 or right before that 7, just because I would see that as the 3rd resistance. And I'll show you guys that on my other chart here, but just give you guys a quick second here to show it up. So you see on the 15-minute here chart, and that's the one that I'm looking at. If I scroll back here and I start taking a look at the recent price action, I can see almost that action that we could just pull back there towards 7, give you that nice little run. Let me show you guys the 7s. So actually, this is probably going to look better on the 1 hour on this charting. Let me go a little bit closer here. My mouse is being a little sticky today.
AMD calls.
Sorry about that, guys. Probably Hendrix. All right, so you see how this is kind of setting up there for a little bit of that resistance tries. There's been a couple of tries here towards around this area, right? So I can see it maybe getting up there towards that area. And then also one thing that you can do is just draw the trend line, right? The trend line can maybe stop right before this, and then it can start coming towards around 675s, right? So I do like the way this is building. It comes down from the top Bollinger Band to the bottom Bollinger Band to the top Bollinger Band to the bottom to the top. And that's what I'm kind of looking for. That continued move from the top to the bottom of the Bollinger Band and then increase volume. Maybe use like a MACD to see when this really takes off. You can see here how we just crossed and we're starting to expand to the upside. This one doesn't look too bad. I already missed the first action, but I see what you guys are looking at it. Marvell is one that I'm looking at also for kind of red to green action. So what I'd be looking for Marvell is a move back towards around 47.30s. Doesn't seem too bad for kind of more of a swing trade attempt. Should I take my first swing trade attempt here on Marvell? It's one to think about today.
On Meta, someone asked about it in the chat. 250.03 is where I've got 50 shares order, and then also at 249.30s. If 249 itself breaks, I'm going to go ahead and get out. Appreciate you calling that out. We'll see if this 250 ends up holding or not. We haven't been filled yet, so we're still about 30 cents away from that. I will say, though, I am over 2 today. Just not the greatest decision making on my part, but I'm not in tilt mode, so I guess that's a plus.
Always got to find the bright side, baby.
NA look like it's going to the VWAP here. On the NA, it's having some trouble getting above it though. Don't want to front run this.
All right, watching Palantir come back here.
Palantir going to 50 PLTR.
Yeah, I'm looking for the big bidder to show up around the 1250s, 1244s. So right now, of course, we're not seeing that yet, but it's at 1270 right now. So I'm looking for a move towards that 1250 area. Did have a new news today. It looks like a deal with Ukraine. I don't know if you guys talked about that.
Nope.
Nope, didn't see it yet.
Yeah, I have it here, of course, on Moomoo. Just a
long NA
right
here, 249 in the regular account. Looking for a pop above 250. We'll see if we get it. Going to have a tight stop here.
Nice.
243.
Pro. There you go.
Yep. Just need to push up here through 250. We'll see if we get it.
Benzinga Pro, baby. Check it out.
Oh, big seller there. That's going to have to get taken out. I'm going to have to leave this trade here. See if they can hit that. Hit it a little, hitting it a little more. Let's see if we can take that out. Really going to need that block to go here at 244. They're hitting it. Let's see if we can go higher here now.
Still looking for those pullbacks. I'm still seeing a lot of pullback out there, a lot of in red. What's in the green? That's important to note, right? Well, you got financial services and industrials. What's getting hit the hardest? Utilities, communication services, and healthcare. Healthcare is something that I'm definitely seeing fall off the wagon. And the reason why is that it's growth at reasonable value. I think you're starting to see people go for more growth overall. So that's something definitely to think about. And we'll keep an eye out to see if we see any growth moves move later in the day. I don't expect something moving up right now, but I'll keep an eye out.
NA back at 249 here. Let's see if we can bust through 249 and 250. That would be ideal.
Come on, big bidder, show up. Show me the hand on Palantir. Somebody.
Higher on
Where's
NA
the big
here
boys?
Now? See how high we can go. Come on, there's 255. Let's see if we can get to that VWAP. There we go. VWAP and above, and I'll take my gain here. All right, so nice little scalp there on NA, small. Just kind of trying to get green on the screen early here. So now we'll look for something else.
Well done.
And it's going higher through the VWAP. I was a little early on the exit trigger, just trying to get green. But again, we're not, after having multiple day trades that don't work, just getting a positive one is going to be enough to maybe turn the tide here for me. So let's start looking around.
All right.
How they pulled it. So there we go. I'm glad I took those gains. Sorry, Mitch.
No, you're good. Not a worry, man. I'm just looking to see if we're going to start being able to find a support level on the SPY or the Qs that we're looking at. So I'm looking at 1 hour, see where we could stop at. Maybe on the SPY around 412.41. Of course, there's nothing exact there, but I'm using more. What is this? This is the high of yesterday. So the high of yesterday is what I'm using to see if we can stop at.
So I'm watching the SQQQ here. It's really been bought up here from under 25. Obviously, it's still down on the day because of Nvidia. Here, let me bring it up. Let me show you. Sorry, SQQQ. But thinking that there might be a trade here, right, as we try to trade back towards the mean. There's a lot of buying early here. I'm not in this though, but interested in SQQQ. WLDS, I saw that went earlier. They're doing a new band for an Apple Watch, right?
I'm not familiar.
Let me see the news feed here. Wearable devices MRTA band for Apple Watch is available for pre-order. So that's what you got going on here in WLDS. Grats to any of you that took this penny stock on a move through the VWAP. Nice trade here. This is actually what I was hoping with TCBP, that small cap that I'm swinging that I never got. Halted to the upside here. You got me. Find me at. Born to be free. Good to see you, my man. Hopefully everything's going well. Still got to get down there and golf with you in Florida. And NA going higher here. So it looks like I definitely took the gains off the table a little early, although it was kind of a nasty pullback in that. So it probably would have shaken me anyway. NA going higher here, though. A nice little push away from the VWAP.
You got AMD holding the 116s for the past 20 minutes. You've got that right there. I'm in the trade of, what is this? Meta. Looking for a move towards 251s. Oh, look how close we were to get filled on our other ones. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this extra buy. SPY's got support at around 214, excuse me, 412.50s. WLDS no longer halted. Oh, that's a beautiful pop above one. Let's see if we can go ahead and grab some shares at around 101, yeah? Risk about $50.
NA just continuing to go here. Just wild stuff in NA.
All right. Palantir didn't get to the 50s. It got to 58. It's already back to 1280s there. I kind of like to buy the dip in that, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to stay to my level that I called. And if I missed it because I missed it, I judge it to pull back a little bit further. So be it.
Hang on one sec. I got to protect my bird.
Hope everything is okay.
Yep. Don't invite Hendrix over. Hendrix is a savage, man. There's Marvell starting to make a little bit of a move. I want to get this for a swing trade today, so I don't mind it here. I'm looking for a little pullback below 47.10, 47.15, something like that to start getting a swing trade in Marvell. And this, of course, is a tech stock, but just trying to get this on the pullback here. See if I can get it. Come back to 47. Starting to see a little bounce in the market. Qs overall, baby. Starting to come back. So
yeah,
it's a hard one right now to judge it early, right? This is kind of what I was looking for. Red to green moves, man. We're getting it. I'm just maybe being a little bit hesitant here.
Is
Apple
rum ready to
strong.
break out? Let's see.
Microsoft actually pretty weak there. That might be actually an opportunity there on the pullback. Google pulling back significantly.
I don't know much about rum, to be honest, but you can draw like a trend line.
Yeah,
okay, sorry about that.
You're all right. Hope everything's okay on that.
Yeah, the cat just wandered into the room. The birdcage was open, so.
Man, I gotcha. Let's see what's going on with our. Here, let me see. It might
I
be
get
close.
one more whoosh down, then I'll try to start jumping into some of these.
Trying to play this trend line here on the micro E-mini S&P 500 futures. You can see that trend line purchased here, stop loss right above it. I'll move my stop loss to break even now. Let's go back to, where's Meta? Still in the red. That's what we do, Megan.
That's what we do. Smash the like out there, baby.
Oh, I got to get my Instagram.
Life's too short to not enjoy it and live it. That's for sure.
What did I get for lunch?
He heard the birds.
Oh, and I've got wings for lunch. Oh, yeah, we balling out. By the way, I don't know if you guys have tried, and it's been out for like 6-7 months, maybe even a year, but the Wingstop sandwiches, mango habanero.
Yeah, so I see the commercials for that all the time, and they look really, really good. I've never tried one. So you're saying I should absolutely try one?
Yeah.
How big are they? Like if I wanted to try a mango habanero and a lemon pepper, am I going to be able to do that in a sitting? Or are they like big sandwiches?
Yeah. They're like, if you're going to Chick-fil-A, they're like that size, maybe a little bigger than that.
Okay, so they're pretty good size then.
Yeah. Like I'm happy with it. I never felt like I got scammed.
I never felt like I got scammed. Well, that's good.
You do what I do. So I don't know if anyone has this, but whenever Uber Eats wants to give me like a 40% off up to $15, I just go ahead and load up. But yeah, just get a couple of sandwiches, and if you eat them, one for lunch and one for a couple hours later or something, I don't know. But
let me see if there's a Wingstop around me. Let me try Uber Eats. Because maybe I'll do that for lunch. Maybe I'll do that for lunch and then report back to you on what it was.
Let's do that.
By the way, I'm seeing some stuff on the web from other people that I know. Ticker SIFI. So before I look this up, let me at least prepare you in case this goes. Ticker SIFI, from what I understand, is an Indian company that does have a partnership with Nvidia. This provider of network solutions in India. Yep, internet company. So they have some type of relationship with Nvidia. Now, this is a very, very thin stock. Okay, so you got to be very careful if you trade this, but worth keeping this at least on your radar in case this starts to get volume today. Maybe this moves with Nvidia.
It's an American depository share, each represented by one. Whatever that means. See if we can get them on the show or something. That'd be kind of cool. Do they have butter wings? I don't know what butter wings are, but that sounds delicious. Come on, Spy.
Okay, there is a Wingstop near me. Maybe I'll get that for dinner. I don't necessarily want to have fried food before I have a golf lesson.
Oh, that's right.
I got my golf lessons. Yeah. So, oh my God, I cannot wait. I hope that I get at least one or two good things that I can just work on and then practice over the next couple of rounds. That would really be great.
Since things have slowed down a little bit, chat, let me know. So I'm supposed to pick up while I'm waiting for CarMax to let me know my vehicle is ready to check out. And then if all goes well, we give them a check. Everything's good. Let me know what are like some accessories that y'all like having in your cars, right? You can feel free to DM me. My Twitter's right there. Because I'm just trying to think of like cool stuff that I can install or use, even the smallest things.
The best thing that I think in a car is the ability to plug your phone into the car so that you can use apps like Spotify or Waze right through the built-in entertainment center. So on my car, I have a Ford Fusion. I think they call it Sync 3. There's a USB port and I plug my phone in and I can bring Waze up right on my screen in my car, can access my Spotify playlist. That is the best piece of technology.
If I have CarPlay and I hook it up, like like I'm charging my phone, I assume that should work.
Yeah, CarPlay is the Apple version of Android Auto. Jay Rice suggests some fuzzy dice.
Oh, that's right. You're an Android person.
Yeah, I have the better.
I remember why I don't text you. Yep, got it.
You're one of the green text phobia people too, huh?
No. I don't discriminate. I don't know if that was someone at my door or my neighbor just having a good time. I don't know. Anyway,
it's 9 o'clock in the morning, Zunaid.
You know what? Listen, some people work the night shifts.
Man, okay, you're right.
Anyway, TSM, thank you for bringing it to our attention as it does try to make its way above $100. We'll keep an alert on that in case it does get up there. Obviously, if you were, looking to kind of short it for a scalp, that train has already kind of left the station as it's already 70 cents in the money from that 100 short possibility. But I'm going to try to play it to the upside if possible. Oh, that's right.
NA going for 3. That would have been a big one if I had held on to that.
I need to call my insurance company and get all that ready too. We'll take a look at
QBTS popping off the bottom here. Maybe this goes towards its VWAP on QBTS. Core still chilling below its VWAP here. I think a volume pop through this VWAP core might be a long.
One stock making a move today that I think eventually gets mentioned a lot with AI is Adobe. Adobe's getting already a pop here, so I'm thinking about a longer term swing here. Would love pullbacks at 380, so I could take a little bit of a longer term approach there. But I mean, why not Adobe, right? Master AI with graphics and things like that. I mean,
I got one for you, Mitch. I got one for you. You want Adobe as the AI call? How about IBM? IBM has been a leader in AI for over a decade with Watson. That's what I'm saying. But don't you think at some point, this stock's got to move?
Look at Intel. Let's look at Intel today.
Yeah, Intel I noticed was down this morning. How's that? Oh, it's down.
That tells you enough, bro. Here today. Those are the old. That's the old computer days, man. Those brands are dying. That's what I think. Those brands are dying, man. There's a new generation taking control, bro. Look at Nvidia. Look at AMD, right?
Dude, I remember when AMD was $5.
Like $10, yeah, $10.
Yep.
That just goes to show you, right? If you think about what's like maybe where the goalpost is going to, not necessarily where it is so important, right? And AMD, I think one of the biggest changes that really got me more excited about AMD was when I started seeing the consoles switch and start going to AMD processors. I know you probably caught that, Zunaid, and
so did
I think that was very important. That gave what? That gave a whole new generation an ability to look that, oh, there's an AMD processor in this? Why don't I have an AMD processor in my computer?
Yeah, see, Daddy Backstrap, IBM is not only AI, but they're also working on quantum computing integration, which is what the real AI hype is about. This is kind of it. I don't know that this is a flashy name, to your point about it being old and dying, Mitch. I really don't think it's flashy, but I think that there's something here. And I think that if the AI move, we'll discuss if that's whether or not that's a bubble. But I think if there's another leg higher here in the AI sector, I think IBM has to participate.
Let's talk about that since you already, started it here when talking a little bit about AI. One thing that we wanted to talk today, team, and you guys can definitely fill in and talk about it in the chat if you'd like. If you'd like to focus on your trading, by all means, go ahead and do so, right? One thing that we talked about in kind of the pre-show, and we were talking about it, is AI a bubble? Right. And then one thing that I would immediately go to is what's your definition of a bubble? Because that's really important too, right? Everybody a lot of times has different exact definitions for words that are very similar. And to me, bubble is necessarily something that normally happens when you're getting new technology, right? Or a new hype word, something like that. And what I mean by bubble is that A bubble necessarily for me is something that blows kind of the look of the TAM, right? The total addressable market. And it blows it up to this level where it seems like it's this huge amount and it gets almost overhyped, right? And it's just all about how big they can push that bubble out until it eventually collapses a little bit. Does it mean that it eventually goes away completely? No, but that's the way I refer to as bubbles.
Megan here, this is an interesting comment. It feels like it. I work in tech, and even I am confused by the extreme hype. I think that's kind of what Mitch is talking about when it comes to the bubble, is that the amount of hype, really, it's related to the amount of hype. Mitch saying AI is a bubble doesn't mean that AI is fake and is not going to be used and doesn't have applications. That's not the same thing. What Mitch is saying is that the over exuberance that is reflected in the stock price in some of these names is extreme. And when that hype or momentum dies off, if you're still in that stock, you're likely to see a pretty good regression on a lot of those names. Sometimes they can be really big. By the way, Ryan, just really thanks very much for such a nice comment. I got to say, as much as you admire me, I'm pretty sure I admire you 2x more. Anyone that serves has my admiration. That is for certain. So thank you very much.
Definitely. All right, seeing Palantir pull back here, keeping an eye on it because that's the one that I want. And if I get an opportunity, I'll take my opportunity, right? That's what it's all about. I'm also looking at Marvell. Marvell is right back above 47. So it keeps hitting around here, the 46.84, kind of bottoming out here. It doesn't look too bad overall. That's a completely different style stock, but one of the things that I need to do is just kind of let the patterns work today. Wait to see the real momentum back to the upside. If things want to keep leaking, I'll let them keep leaking. How's that G-sit? Pulling back. I'll kick it to you, Nate.
Quick, I'm gonna take one contract and just one because I'm feeling a little gutsy, and I'm gonna take a quick little break here for a minute. I'll be back in 5 minutes. But I went ahead and grabbed some 250 puts, and by puts I mean one put, so just a put. On my Nvidia. So 250 put expiring tomorrow. My purchase price is 105. And I will go ahead and stop out of this once I come back if this 15-minute candle closes above VWAP. I'll be back in about 5.
Okay, hopefully everything's okay with Zunaid.
Yeah, I just got to figure out this neighbor situation because it's not what I thought it was, but it looks a little crazy. I'll be back.
When the neighbor starts knocking on your door and telling you to wash dishes, you might need to. Who knows, man? How we doing out there, team? It's kind of a quiet day for me so far. I haven't been doing much trading. A lot of that is I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm not trying to be overcomplicating my mindset today, right? We always got to know if we had a good night rest, how we're feeling in the morning. Today's one of those days that I definitely feel a little bit tired. Went to sleep like I had a baseball game, so I didn't get home till late. And then just trying to keep things simple here. It's already getting to about 10:09, and we know how those lovely day traders love to leave around what time? 10:30, right? So I'm starting to look here to see if we can make one big whoosh down here, one more, and then I can start taking some shots to the upside. And I have no problem doing it. It's all about just knowing the out. Any 400-foot bomb on last night's game? No,
that's what I wanted to know.
To tell you the truth, I have 2 leagues, right? I have one league where I get to have fun and use like a metal bat. I have one league where it's like wood bats and I use a bomb bat. I only got one at bat yesterday and I got walked. So I got to get a stolen base and score a run, but I only got one at bat yesterday. So
I love that you're still making it happen, even if you don't hit, even if they walk you, you're still causing damage. I like that, Mitch.
Oh man, and I stole third too. So it wasn't like I stole second. I said, you know what, I'm taking third. But my team wasn't doing that great yesterday. I let someone else play, get a shot or two because I mean we're adults, right? We're gonna let other people play.
It's about having fun. No one's getting paid for that.
Oh, trust me, I was talking a lot of crap in the dugout though.
I wouldn't be surprised to hear Mitch saying that. So G-sit, you're right, Jay. Huge fade here on G-sit.
Oh, but I'll be recording this weekend to see if I hit those 400-foot bombs. Trust me. I already got it like measured out, like different spots in the field where I got to hit it. I'm going to get one. All right, here comes Palantir now into the 50s. Of course, last time it made it to the VWAP, it wasn't too bad. I see a lot of volume, about 45,000 shares around 1249. So I'm going to let it hit into that up towards the 44 spot and 41, where there's 50,000 shares. Between that, there should be about like 100 to 200,000 shares just waiting there. So we'll see what happens if we're able to actually see that kind of hold there. That's what I'm looking at. Of course, you guys take this with a grain of salt. That's what I'm looking at. And of course, that's from my Moomoo account. I already got it unlocked and I'm looking for some pullback action. And what I do here is probably come in it a little bit slow. A lot of times, like people put in all their order in one order. This is not the way I like to approach things. I know a lot of traders do. I like to piece into the position and average in. The key is always understanding where my out is. That's the only important thing I feel of when you're piecing in. All right, what else do you guys take a look at? TSM. TSM was one that was up pretty significant in the pre-market, and this one actually continued to move in the intraday market. This one does not look bad today. My only problem is I can barely ever trade it just because I got too much China news in my head, and I don't know why, guys. There's one thing that I don't trust, and that's China. But yeah, TSM not looking too bad there. You guys see the chart there. Marvell is one that I've been keeping on my radar. It's been bottoming out. Will it kind of reverse and just come back up there? Why do I like this one? Look at the daily chart on this kind of tech stock, right? I mean, it's nowhere near on like kind of huge breakout. And so I'm looking to see if it can recollect and get through the $50, which is such a kind of like psychological spot. Wombats, baby. Oh man, the good old days. What's going on out there, team? How we doing?
We're doing good, Mitch. How are you doing? No trades in the small account yet. I still have a day trade. Actually, let me take a look at that. I do have a day trade for today and tomorrow, but I really don't. I want to find a really good setup. And today, I feel like there's a lot of moving and shaking because of the Nvidia. Just my 2 cents.
I need a little bit more pullback. I'm trying to be patient here in the Palantir. Only question is, can I get my entry? And how's the SOXL looking today? How's that setup looking? Because I felt like that needed to pull back a little bit more before I was going to go after it. I don't know about what you guys think on that chart, but
which one? I'm sorry.
SOXL. I feel like it needs to pull back a little bit more.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of watching SQQQ, right? I wanted to play the inverse of that. Still kind of watching it. Looks like it came back into the VWAP and bounced. I didn't take it a position though.
Yeah, did not look too bad there. But the only my problem with the SQQQs is that a lot of times you have small ranges and then breakouts. So it's hard. You got to come almost wait for that breakout. You guys saw me earlier in the week wait for the breakouts, and it's hard, man. You got to be patient. All right, SOXL, you got some Raz? Hey, power to you, man, if you're able to nail that. Dave talking about adding FSLR for a swing there. I know it was on close to that down gap. How's it doing now? Let me just take a little peek here. It's close to that 200. I mean, there's a little bit of a down gap right below it, but it's holding in that gap right now. We'll see if it breaks into the gap or does it come right back up. Can't blame you, though. At least you know you're out probably. Nvidia stealing the show. How's Nvidia doing right now? It's holding in here pretty well off of the 380s. I don't know if I could trade that though today.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching it too, Mitch. I don't have a good line on Nvidia either. It is holding here, and it looks like the dips that have come have been bought. We're putting in higher lows. So it looks like maybe it does kind of come back up here, but to me, I'd rather look for something a little bit more safe. I don't know. In Nvidia, this is definitely a tough one. If you're going to enter here, VWAP definitely looks like a good entry. It's provided multiple good entries here since the market opened, but tough read here on Nvidia.
Definitely, it's a tough one, man. I'm just trying to nail Moomoo trade here, guys.
Jay, look at this. So Zunaid, this is funny, Jake. Thanks for showing up. Zunaid asked earlier, who in the chat had Nvidia through that print.
Nice.
Looking like J-Raz here definitely had some Nvidia. Nice.
So we all just got
job there.
raises. That's awesome.
Right? That's what it is.
Shout out to Jason. Appreciate it. Yeah, that 370 area was definitely about. Megan, are you still in that trade? Or did you get out with profits or what? I'm going to show my chart here in a reason. Show why I like that one. Yeah, so here was my entry, right? Let me kind of, my entry was here at the 370s. But then my stop loss should have been much lower than this because you see the wicks and that's exactly where we went ahead and found some support into the upside. Now I do have some puts on Nvidia, but we're about 10 cents lower on that. So we'll see how this one plays out. Let's take a look at the SPY. You also have support found around 412.50, and you've got resistance around 413.81. So that's kind of your range at the moment. Jason said maybe I don't have Nvidia.
Jason out here, just master troll game on Zunaid. I absolutely love it. I love seeing it. He put a 1 in the chat. Oh no, okay, it was a smiley face. It looked like a 1 on my other screen. Oh, I thought that was so perfect.
That's hilarious.
That would have been so perfect.
That is hilarious.
Megan,
awesome, Megan.
Trade. Let's ring that register, Megan. Nvidia, let's go.
I got you, baby. You know what we call that, right?
Congrats.
That's the money move, baby. Money for Megan, baby. You get
Money
it, Megan.
for Megan. Money for Megan. Let's go.
Like that? Hey.
We call that M squared.
M squared. You guys are great.
Let's get it, baby. Let's go.
Shakalaka.
You've got Tesla here trying to make a move right back up to go from red to green. Keep an eye on this 183 level because you can see we had support. And then when we finally cracked, we kind of went down about a couple of bucks. And it's also the previous close. So I think it's got to get above that 183. But then right above that, you've also got VWAP. So a little bit of tough road ahead if you're long on Tesla. Oh, what happened to TSM from that 100?
Jill, I did a strangle yesterday prior to the close, the 250. Are you talking about Nvidia? I think you meant 350. That's still a sweet trade, though. Nice job.
Yeah.
If that's what that is. Nicely done.
Hold on.
Get it.
Man.
All right, looking for the bottoming in the market. I have a feeling we'll get it, but how long is it going to take?
TSM did
1:30 or 10:30.
TSM did TSM did touch 100. It's right here. And high, you can see. Oh, I'm pointing at my screen like you can see my hand. But you can see on here, it was a high of $100 exactly. Unless you meant break. Yeah, it definitely didn't break 100, but it touched 100 for sure. Nice little VWAP test. What's up?
Guys, just a massive congratulations and another money drop here for the chat calling WLDS. This, of course, PR here about having a new band for the Apple Watch. WLDS, just an absolutely massive trade right through that 80 cent level where it met with the VWAP. We're up at 160 here now. This stock's up 245% here. Great job by our chat to identify and trade. This is exactly the type of stuff that we want to see. If you guys are in this, make sure that you're taking gains along the way. Don't let this come back into you. We're extended here 250%. Make sure you put some of that profit in your pocket. Great call. Bex, I think you were on this earlier. Sorry, Zined.
You're going to try to get it at $1. As you can see, we had our orders out for 500 shares at $1. By the way, it got stopped out on Nvidia puts. Try to get it on $1. 101, couldn't get it. So we're going to go ahead and cancel that trade. But yeah, beautiful move up now past the 150s. Our meta trade in the green now, looking to go ahead and close this one out around 251.15s if we can.
Wow, look at the fade on AI. I'll go right back to you, Zunaid, but this is worth noting. Good. We talked a lot about AI plays being sympathy plays. Look at this fade in AI after that Nvidia move. Here, Zunaid, going back to you.
Well, I'm glad you did because right now I'm in AI just now as you brought it to my attention. Just going to go ahead and see if we can risk about $50 on the trade. See if we can make it a move right back up on this one. You know what I need to do? Actually, I lied. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit more room.
Looks like Brian, buy to open and Nvidia put 932. What strike and expiry were you on, Brian? SOXS might go higher here, by the way. SOXS. We're pushing away from the VWAP. That would have been a better trade closer to the VWAP for me.
SPY to open on Nvidia puts at that
I think we go higher here, though.
Qs are coming down. That's what's holding us back. Remember, we really haven't turned things around yet. The SPY is holding in a little bit more off of that 4012.49 level. But I can see the Qs, and they're coming down fast here. So they're going to attempt to do a third bottom attempt here on the 5-minute. I think that's what I'd keep an eye out for, that 5-minute kind of low here, to see if it can hold around the 336.90s, 337. But the move towards 336 is what we got to be careful for the next swoosh down.
All right, look, we're 5 cents in the money on the AI trade. Don't ever say I'm not a profitable trader. But what's up, Mitch?
No, you're good. Rando also saying the Qs are leaking.
Well, let's go ahead and check them out. We are below VWAP. And let's see what else we've got. Trying to see if there are any other major levels that I care for. Coming back here. So we're looking to break. So if you're interested in the SPY, you got to break this 412.50, which held on as support in the morning. Let's also actually go back to AMD, because, man, this has been exactly within the range that we identified here before the market started. 120 resistance, 116 support. And that's just because we looked left and we saw the action that was happening, not just after hours, but also in the pre-market on the top and bottom side. And so far, that's the range we're in on AMD.
Yeah, the AI names, big fade. Carmen, you hit it. Wowee, all those AI stocks look like they'll end in the red. We'll see where that ends up. Now, there might be some bounces. Remember, we talk a lot on the show about keeping some of these stocks on your watch list so you can come back to them later in the afternoon, maybe after the lunch hour, when they're likely to get volume pops and perhaps a second chance at an upside trade. Keep that in mind here on some of these AI names. I'm not saying they're going to go, but at least keep them on your watch list. You could see volume flow back to that in waves, and that could set up some long side trades there.
That's why, what am I working today? Is lovely, the P word, baby, patience, right?
Yeah.
Trying to let it pay and waiting for the motion to show me the upside versus me just try to jump in really early. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it comes back. And Rashad, you have no idea about AI getting scary. You better hold on to your pants.
I mean, you just saw the market go ahead and drop about 30 points because of a fake image of a bombing outside the Pentagon. So yeah, it's definitely only going to get worse from there. No question.
Yeah, this is why I talk about everything's going to the blockchain, team. I think, Jason, if you're listening, we need to get Benzinga Pro on the blockchain.
You've got
the
AI
first media, baby.
That went ahead and got all the way up to 82.20s. We're about 13 cents away from taking profits. Now it's coming back down.
My man, going after
let's see,
the AI.
Where's Nvidia? There it is. Nvidia just hanging out right at VWAP. This is a 5-minute chart, by the way.
Yeah, I'm looking for like a little bit of a 375 test and then a strong recovery of 385 to the upside. That's just what I'm looking at.
Have you seen the images from Trump getting arrested a few weeks ago? Yeah, I think that was kind of like a more obvious one. But yes, I did see that, Jan. All right, Spy, what you gonna do? You at support.
TISI, TISI, this kind of interesting, a little bit thinner, but looks like this is curling back up towards the VWAP. Maybe a potential long side trade here on a VWAP cross, especially if the volume picks up at all. Had some pretty good volume earlier in the session, so it's possible. Let's see if TISI gets going here. Just going to scroll down the list here. Noticed Elf Beauty was on there. Let's check out Elf. $97, man. I remember when this Elf was $15. I wonder this gets 100 print soon. Sorry, Mitch. Let me flip over to you.
You're good, dude. I'm just seeing the Qs leak, right? Like I'm on the continued motion of just waiting for Palantir to make that nice little whoosh. You see, I'm also using the Bollinger Bands here, team. I wanted to show you guys that a little bit. Use something different, right? Well, Bollinger Bands, right? Of course, what do they use? They use standard deviations to determine the upper band and the lower band, right? And so what is it? It's a move from that kind of middle line, right? 2 standard deviations lower, 2 standard deviations higher. And I think that we can use this a lot of the times when we're looking for extreme lows. Of course, you always got to know your risk below that because you can get moves below that upper band and moves below that upper band, right? That usually shows us also when the Bollinger Bands expand, it shows volatility. And when they contract, it shows that the volatility is coming down. So I'm looking for like a nice little whoosh towards that 1244s, filling into like kind of the 1230s, and then taking my attempt to the upside with Palantir. We'll see if I get it. A little bit of an indicator talk today.
If you've got, so if you're looking to go long Apple, you've got to wait for this trend line to go ahead and break. This is on the 5-minute chart. Here's what we've got. The yellow line is a VWAP. We're currently red. We just went green to red, now trying to go back above their previous close. But if you're looking to go long at all today, you've got to go ahead and break this trend line or try to get down to support. But for me, it's just a trend line watch at the moment. And then also I went ahead and added a few shares on my meta trade. So now I've got 100. Ooh, I've got 100. I didn't realize that 100. Let me go and put a stop loss correction. 100 stop loss is 249.91. My average price is 249.65. Let's see if we can sell 150 right there.
Well, Zunaid sets that up, folks. NA right off the relative volume scanner here, moving back through the VWAP. Might be another setup here. This pulled last time, so you might want to wait for this actually to cross through here. But again, our scanner telling us this is a big mover here. Huge relative volume. By the way, also seeing AMD and Nvidia calls coming through here, so maybe they're buying up that dip.
Let's see what we've got on that.
Yeah, I'm watching.
See if we get a move here on NA. Sorry, Mitch.
You're good, my friend. We're all just looking for moves, right? That's what it's about. Jason, you didn't hear it? Blockchain, baby. Be the first up on the chain to be able to verify 100% that our news is accurate. Ooh, doesn't that sound good?
Yeah, Nvidia, you got the 282.50 calls that were coming in on the ask, approximately $500,000 worth. I think that's what you were seeing, right? Where's my... Oh, there's Meta. Okay. All right, Meta back in the money. Come on now.
Looking at Palantir, baby, for that pullback entry. Come on. I see them lined up at 50. You know you want to take it there, market makers. Let's go. I'm calling the market makers out. Let's see if they take it there. There's a lot of volume, just supply, just sitting there. I'm looking for a team to go ahead and nail it. Of course, you guys have been seeing me here use Moomoo in the back. That's what I've been trying to get a nice little trade on the day. And one thing that I'll tell you is you guys use that QR code right now on the screen. You can get up to 20 free stocks today. And this is only a limited time offer. You got to deposit up to 1,000 to get a 20. But even if you deposit that 100, look at that exclusive. You know what that exclusive's for? Benzinga Pro, baby. Hit the like, guys. Let's keep it going here.
Take a look at TSM still on watch as well if it breaks 100.
Ryan, you still got day trades in the Moomoo account? Or are you
I have one today and one tomorrow. I get my next one back on Monday. But instead of blowing it, Mitch, or instead of trying to take something risky where I'm likely to use that day trade on a potential stop out, I'm actually taking the advice that we discussed yesterday about waiting for a stock to come into support, trading off of support and trying to minimize the potential loss by getting a quality entry. Some of the stocks that we're talking about here today, they're simply moving too quickly to be able to set that up. You have to take a little bit more risk in order to get into the trade. Tried to do that here, did that with NA earlier. We'll see if we can get that done again here later today.
Starting to see a little up move there in the queues. So I started jumping in for the swing that I wanted to take. Start swing trade kind of trade here. Marval off the 46.50 area, and I'm getting in here at 47.09. I can always add below 47 towards 46.75. Wouldn't add lower than that, but I'm looking for a move to come right back towards the open today. 49 on Marval.
All right, on Meta here, bro, there's no way. Come on, can we just take these gains? Thank you. We had 100 shares. We just took 50 of them right there, so that's money in the bank. It took a while to go ahead and have that trade work out. Now we're going to look to sell some at 250.96. My stop loss is going to be a break even, so there's no way I can go red on this trade. So Meta half out, half looking to fill at 250.96, which is right near VWAP, right underneath the whole number of 251 as well. Let's see what's going on with their AI trade. Barely in the money, nothing really happening there. Hoping to base around the previous close and taking a look at Apple. There's another ticker I wanted to take a look at. Oh, that was right. TSM. Holding on to the trend line, still trying to break above 100. So those are the tickers that I've got in mind.
Real quick here, Jason saying, Ryan Fluna, are you working on those advanced settings for Benzinga Pro? Jason, if I'm awake, I am thinking and working on Benzinga Pro. Absolutely, we are doing that. And actually, one of the other things that we have already pushed live here, a real quick tip for you guys. You guys search your news feed for high impact movers, just as a simple keyword search, you're going to be getting a list of all of the high impact movers that we got. So today, we already talked about it in the pre-show here, BMR and Nvidia. This might be a nice way for you to track all of the biggest news items that, of course, Benzinga Pro is going to bring you first. This also shows up in a pop-up the first time that you log into the platform in the morning. You should always have those prior to the open. So we got a lot of stuff in the works. We have a huge release coming pretty soon. If you've submitted some feedback, I would expect to see some emails from me as those new features are developed. So yes, absolutely, we are going to do that. By the way, SQQQ came into its VWAP and bounced. That little plug for Benzinga Pro caused me to miss that entry, but no worries. We will keep looking for this. SQQQ has come down to the VWAP several times today. We've talked a lot about some of these ETFs being safer exposure to some of the biggest moving items in the market. SQQQ today still down huge, still down 4.7% because of that massive Nvidia earnings. Let's see if we can close that gap.
And of course,
order out here for Palantir, 1248.
You've also got the SPY rejecting VWAP at the moment, going back to test the 41250s. Yellow lines of VWAP, rejected it.
Boom.
Let's see if this 412 continues to hold. I got your screen up. Oh,
all right, guys, I got a first entry here. I'm willing to add lower towards the 40, if not 39, and then start risking off here off the kind of 27 level. So I can let it come back a little bit more, and I can even put the limit in there. But I saw a lot of volume lining up here for a long time, right? I finally got a little bit of a whoosh down. I took my shot, got my first entry here, 20 shares, Moomoo, baby. You know what that means, guys, and you guys know how it goes. It's time for a big old... Let's get it, baby. Hit the like out there, team. Like Jason Raznick says, hit that like for us, guys, and definitely check out Moomoo. I'm going to throw up the link if you guys want to go ahead and check out how we're going about this small account challenge. Check it out. Get some more information.
Real quick, Jason says, should there be more than 2 high impact movers, or about how many a day? Yes, Jason, on average, there are 3. Today, Nvidia dominated the headlines. But one of the things that we mentioned in the high impact movers pop up today was that a bunch of other AI names are likely to trade in sympathy. So if you have any type of AI watch list, which of course I have in Pro and have been distributing to those that ask, there's a whole list of other plays that you can actually take advantage of. Jay, in Chicago today, running errands, trying to make it happen. That's exactly what I like to hear. Our fearless leader, let's go.
Someone brought up cost, so let's go ahead and take a look at cost on the daily. Right near support on this trend line, if you will. So obviously it has earnings coming up, right, after the bell. But right now, right at support. So just a little insight on that. Sorry, I'm getting pinged here. But yeah, that's what I've got. Support right there on cost. Looking to go green.
NA now moving through that VWAP. Maybe this starts to push away here on NA. Higher lows, like seeing this. This is all looking pretty good here. Let's see on NA. Right at the VWAP.
All right, Q's looking like they're starting to recover. I would look to see if Nvidia can make a strong move, really, because if we want to see AI recover, what could really lead us higher is a move right back through the highs on Nvidia, right? So I'll look to see if I get that. Palantir pulling back here. We'll let you know if I do take an ad. Right now, risk is set at 1220.
By the way, we did go ahead and close out the last bit of Meta that we had. So the 250 trade did go ahead and work out. Now it's at VWAP. We are all out of Meta.
Meta.
That's the game.
I wonder when they're going to come out with like a really nice goggle, man. I'm still waiting for that life. Still waiting for it. Maybe Apple might beat them and then they're going to struggle. You know what I mean, Zunaid?
Yeah, yeah. And if there's anyone that can outdo it, it's Apple.
Yeah, man. I think
Apple
Apple kind of
trucking.
knows that's their next route.
Again, got to get, if we can break this trend line, which is also right where VWAP is. And if you're looking to go short, I think right around this area could be a nice short opportunity.
What I like now is we're past the 10:30 time. And a lot of times what happens, right? Day traders leave the day thinking right now that it's just been a complete disaster of a day to the red side, right? I'm going to see if this starts to come back and changes that mentality.
And a big pull.
We've been making higher highs. Who asked about it? Daddy Backstop about AMD. Right near VWAP, so that could be a solid area for entry if you're believing in the long in terms of stop losses and whatnot.
WLDS is just a big mover here today.
Target right now is around 1320s to the upside. That would get us that nice $15 win again, and we just keep the account going. One thing that I can't try to do sometimes is go for that like super big win, right? I mean, sometimes we're going to be able to just run into it and the stock would just take us there. I don't want to be trying to go for it. I just want to let it happen one day. And it could be off of a penny name or something like that, but now I'm just looking to see if Nvidia can do a little quick pullback and then a big bar up. Same thing for the Qs, right? I'll show you guys this outlook. I'm keeping this on my radar too. Palantir, Nvidia, Qs, right? Qs look a little bit better. If the Qs can make a nice big bar higher, if Nvidia can make a bar right back above these VWAPs, we can look good. We'll see what happens. See if I can get this move a little higher. I still haven't added. I don't feel like I need to add right now because I'm slightly up on the position and I'm really close to the low of the day.
ADW asking why no trade halts going down on IEP. Doesn't look like it's moved enough in a short amount of time. It is down considerably, down 24% here, but it looks like it's fairly orderly to the downside. And I think that's why you're not getting halts.
Let's see. One ticker that I haven't talked about today is Snow. Is that one just? Oh man, I wish I did. But Snow just went ahead and fell.
Crushed.
Yeah, and not just that, the 150 rejection right there near VWAP. Mwah, that was sweet.
Here's the Q starting to make a move. Let's see if Nvidia can do its move. That's what I'm really looking at. One thing that I can also see on Nvidia is where did we close yesterday? Anybody know?
Where did we close yesterday? I'm going to guess 304.30.
No, 380.65. So if you look,
you mean like after hours? Okay, I was thinking regular session.
Yeah, and then so one thing is a lot of the times what we want to see here is kind of look for little pullbacks to just get bought back. It looks like that 370. That was a good opportunity. I mean, but how many people were able to get that? I don't think too many people were. But now I want to see if it breaks through 385 and opening price. Joel Elconin, shout out to my man, right? He always talks about how if you see these stocks kind of pull back, the big level really is that open price, 395.01. We can get back above that. And then all of a sudden, all that red outlook starts turning green. And if for anybody, a trader that would step in today and then look to see at Nvidia, they'd see it green for the open and green on the day. So that's one thing that could take over here.
You've got 210 calls coming in on the ask on Tesla. Expiring on the 2nd of June, so next week. And there is TSM above a hundo. All right, TSM.
Like it. Q's now above VWAP. I like that. Marvell holding 47s. That doesn't look too bad either for me on the swing. Now I just want to see the Qs just take off. Just be like, come on, baby. You thought we were going to pull back today? There's a SPY right back above VWAP, so not looking too bad right now.
All right, here's a game plan for me on TSM. Yeah, we've got 20 minutes for the show. 15-minute close above 100. Then on the retest of 100, I want to go ahead and buy some shares. Stop loss will be approximately 50 to 60 cents. And here's the way we're going to probably rock with it. Maybe grab about 200 shares, have 50 of them out at around 101s or 101 or 150s, and the rest we'll kind of let it ride like we did on Meta.
Yeah, you know, one thing, Born, that I try to focus more and more and more is market psychology, right? And I think a lot of the times, like, let's say if you were a pre-market trader today and you like come in and you see all these gaps, you're thinking, I need to buy the open, you get washed out, right? And a lot of times what happens is I think that institutionals love that action. They're like, okay, retail's excited today. We're going to sell it to them at the open and we're going to buy it back lunchtime or power hour later. And this happens way too often, right? And so I almost look for those types of moves sometimes and look for deep time frame pullbacks to get an opportunity. And I have to use the deep time frames like an hour or daily, because if I'm not using that, are the institutions using the 5 or the 15 even? A lot of times don't even use the 15s. They're more required towards hourly and daily charts. That's why I use them. This is why I think it's, you know, it's almost ironic that a lot of the times, yeah, algorithms will use a little bit of a tighter time frame, but you know, retail tries to trade with the algorithms versus trying to trade with the institutions. Paul C, agreeing with me? What? I'm just joking with you, Paul. It's good to see it, man.
I went ahead and grabbed some TSM at $100.04. Stop loss for me is about $99.40. Looking to take gains at approximately $100.50 or so. On the trading view, I'm waiting for this to close, but on my other broker, I did go ahead and purchase those. As soon as this candle closes here, we can go ahead and get in the trade. Matter of fact, let me see what the options look like on this puppy. Let's see what the options. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can do it here. Oh, well, what do you know? It already kind of bounced. Okay, that's cool. Thanks, pal. Oh, what a knucklehead. Oh, never mind. I did it right. Okay. Sorry. No, I went to look at my other broker to see what my TSM was, and I didn't see it in my open positions, but that's because it already took out my limit. So we already made money on it, and it was gone. And I was like, wait a minute, did I just buy the wrong stock? Okay, well, now we're good. All right, so the reason I went ahead and took a little bit of a size is because on the 5-minute, it closed above, and I got the retest, and I purchased it on the retest. Now on the 15-minute, I want this to come down. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up here. See if we can purchase about 200 shares worth of TSM at around $100 and a penny. WLDS, higher day. The UAP went ahead and held.
Trying to break 63 on WLDS, but there's a big sell wall there.
And SPY coming up against that resistance line of 413.81.
WLDS retracing this candle now. Big pull WLDS. This is why we don't try trading those breaks all of the time. Why I'm trying to be a little bit more conservative with some of those range breaks to the upside. Big pull WLDS. Check this out. So it was right at that 163 spot, and it was chomping some of the offer. Looked like it wanted to go. Couldn't break it. Big time knife. So we'll see where this settles. This might not be done for the day.
All right, I go slightly into the red here, just slight, not even $1 yet, but just keeping an eye on it to see if we can get some big bids to step up here and take it back towards 1280s. The big thing for me is that at least I'm liking that the Qs are going higher here. What I wouldn't like is a big down move in the Qs here. As it slowly leaks higher, I want to see Nvidia put a big bar and show us that we want to come back up. That's what I'm looking for. Qs are staying strong.
All right. Good question here. Smoke Tuna saying, Ryan, how do you identify a sell wall on the level 2? Okay, I'm actually going to use Moomoo to demonstrate this. So let me go ahead and add my Moomoo account here and then go ahead and share this. Smoke Tuna, I'm going to remove your comment so that we can see the chart and the order book. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the level 2. Now, depending on your broker and depending on who you use for this, the level 2 might look a little different, but Mitch does a really good job of covering this when he watches the level 2 as well. He's basically looking for big outsized blocks of stock for sale. So I can't show you WLDS because it's halted now. Let me see if there's another one on the scanner here. Let's take a look at NA. Take a look at NA here. Okay, well, this doesn't really have big ones. You can see just by looking at this, the biggest seller here is going to be at 227. In fact, at this 227, you can see a bunch of stacked sellers in there by looking at the level 2. Let me see if I can find you a really good example.
Look for any penny stock that's moving.
Yeah, here. Let's see if SONN, because that has been kind of raging here today. Let's see if that has a big. Yeah, so here you go. This is a pretty good example. Good call there, Mitch. You can see on SONN at this 40 cents here, we have this 7,000 seller. We also have some more, so it's really kind of stacked. Here's a big wall here. Look at 54.47 thousand. Okay, this is how I identify a seller wall. Let me know if this is now clear for you, Smoke Tuna. You can do this on any level 2. I also do it on Thinkorswim. It looks different, but we're looking for the same information.
Yeah, and if you really want access to more of that information, what do you get access to? You get access to what they call the book depth. So you can get NASDAQ book depth, you can get ARCA book depth. It's all about how much you want to pay for the data, of course. And I really only kind of recommend this for people that have kind of more bigger positions. It's something to look at for like kind of bigger moves, but definitely if you're trading with bigger size, you kind of definitely need to know how much sizing is waiting up there, because a lot of the times, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to piece out, right? That's how bigger traders trade. They don't just throw, 60,000 shares on the offer and expect to get out all at that one spot, right? And this is why they put it up on the offer, kind of like create that wall, because they know that also the buyers are seeing that wall. And they're like, if you can blow it through there, you can take my shares. Let's see what happens on the Qs. Now Qs getting stronger, Nvidia getting stronger. This is what I've been waiting for. Talked about these 3 charts, right? Let's see if we can get that move. Qs are going higher. Nvidia starting to push. Now is when I should expect that expansion and reversal from Palantir. Now, the only question is, I get it. All right. See what happens here. Let's get it, guys. Do you not look at the time and sales to see if the big orders through or are not fake? Yeah, I mean, you can do that. We can still do that also on Moomoo. It's just a different button. And that's the only thing that I would say that I would probably want next to it. But I still haven't figured out how to set that one up. But I agree. You want to look at the time and sales too. Looking to see if I can get some reversal action here in Palantir. If I wanted to, I could add on the push back through 1250, but I'd have to hold off the low of the day. Right now, the low of the day is only 1241. So that would be about 9-cent risk. I can do it there. But if the low of the day goes to like 1230s, I don't want to risk 20 cents. That doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to just play this the right way, right? You guys know I've been trying to battle in this small account, and that's what it's really all about. Just being smart, trying to take your patience approach, and then seeing what happens. Yeah, definitely. Recording screens is very important to try to look back at things to see how it really reacted there. Now you're seeing Nvidia pull back from that push towards 385. But we'll look to see if we get it. We're not really getting it yet. This is also why I'm not adding the Palantir really early, because it just doesn't make sense. Once I add to it, then I have to stick closer and closer to the risk. Right now, I can let it work to 1220 and still have the average loss that I've been trying to keep. Now we got a low of 37. Now I got to kind of make a decision if it makes a quick move to 1250. If I want to add or not. I can still add. I can even add another half. It's just more along, is Nvidia going to give me that rocket type of look? That's what I'm looking for. Trimmed AMD, holding last call to a 120 level. Daddy backstrap. Can't blame you. Hey, money's money, baby. Where's the crow, baby? Man took a day off. He made too much money yesterday.
Yeah, the crow DM'd me on Twitter. So I noticed he isn't here. I think he's probably busy, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah, you know, he's out there. He's dancing. He probably had a good night. It's the crow we're talking here. All right, guys. Smash it up, team. It's about 10:51 in a little bit. We'll be joined by All-Access. That'll be taking over in about 9 minutes. Like always, you guys can check out Moomoo if you guys need some. If you guys are looking for opportunities and definitely are looking for a new account to kind of open up. Of course, great competitions on there also for newer traders. If you're just looking to maybe have a paper trading platform, right? And what I love about them is they actually have like prizes for those paper trading competition. So I know, yeah, it's kind of like fake money there. But the truth is, you win that first place prize, you get that 1,500 cash coupons, you ain't going to be mad.
AMD, by the way, still in that range.
Looking to see if we can recover here. It's just kind of slow, right? And I think that I'm looking to see if we get a speed up on the day. If not, we'll have to just cut it, baby. And that's what's important too, right? I think that what I always like to look at is that, you know, the only thing we can do as traders is just take our shots and try to be patient with them, right? We can't take too many because, of course, it depends how you trade. But I know I don't like to over trade. That's the one thing that I definitely don't like to do, because I just feel like I'm just literally almost asking to lose money versus making it. So we'll see what happens today if this planned attack before works out. At least the Qs stair stepping higher on the 5 minute, but they need to kind of like continue to push, get back to the open.
Come on, AMD. Still waiting on this to pop above 120.
Daddy Backstrap saying, Ryan, I took your idea from a couple of weeks ago, taking QQQ out of the money, 336 call for $25 as a straight gamble yesterday afternoon, hoping to get out at 4:15 if earnings broke early. Exited this AM at 3:30. You're an absolute monster. I love it. I love it. How did that work for you?
I remember this yesterday. Remember when Wisdom said that the pizza guy wanted to come join us? Well, guess what? The pizza guy is here, baby. Guess what, baby? We're doing deliveries, stock deliveries, that is, of course. We'll take a look, and like always, conscious investment today. Let's learn a little bit. That's what it's all about. That's what this stream's about, process approach, so that you can go ahead and learn from our strengths and weaknesses. Playing the Nvidia earnings, to tell you the truth, Nvidia earnings.
Mitch, I think that's a continuation of his first comment. He actually played the QQQ in order to get exposure to Nvidia earnings without playing Nvidia, which we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Looks like it worked for you. Awesome job. Awesome job, Daddy Backstrap.
And that also gives you a little bit of some diversity. Yeah, you're not going to make as much as the Nvidia traders, but you also won't lose as much if it goes against you.
It's just another way to manage your risk. That's exactly it.
100%, guys. All right, now, come on. What you want, Nvidia? What you want? Show me what you want today. You want to break down back below VWAP, or you want to go above that 385? I'm willing to step up to the plate, but we'll just have to wait to see if we can get the signal from the semiconductor area.
ADBE Adobe is by the way, if y'all haven't seen the cool Photoshop features that are out now with AI, I mean, it is incredible with what they've got going on. But anyway, pop above 385. No retest there on the 15 nor the 5. Just a nice little move of $3 or $4. I'd wait for the retest if possible around that 385 or a VWAP if you'd like. What's up?
Dan, I'm a little upset, man. I talked about this on pre-market prep today and just watched the rocket go. Look at Adobe, guys. Talked about it. I think I mentioned it here. that I thought that was going to be maybe the next AI style play, because let's just be honest. They have the graphics. They have the subscribers already. All they need to do is say that they're going to give you these great AI tools. And I think this is back at maybe even all-time highs. This looks interesting for me. Big move up there. Adobe. Nice bullish engulfing candle. We'll look to see if I get some pullbacks at 380s. But, man, that's been a nice move today. All right, still on the battle here. We'll see what happens there with Palantir, or if we can get that up move. Why is Adobe moving? I think they're just starting to view it like an AI play. I know I'm viewing it like that. Nvidia just made a little bit of an up move and then just stopped. So user at least keep just kind of stair stepping their way back to the open. So that's not a bad outlook there. How's like a stock like Apple, Microsoft that was kind of getting hit earlier? Look how those are climbing back, right? I think that's very important to note. Your bigger stocks. So definitely keep your eyes on some of those bigger boys. Microsoft kind of starting to work its way back. How's Google that got hit also? Now back at VWAP. Apple's a little bit kind of right there at VWAP also. Let's see if the Qs can continue to climb. Finally, Nvidia make that 385 move. AMD just hanging out. What you got?
Netflix making that move towards the previous close again, trying to go above it, trying to go red to green. We'll see if it's able to stay there. Nice. I don't know if this news happened or what that was. Listen, 4-hour candle in 15 minutes. Check the 1 minute. Yeah, volume kind of picked up here. Maybe some news. I'd have to see.
There you go, Val. At least somebody got Adobe. I know you probably didn't do it because of me, and I hope you didn't. But at the end of the day, just to see you guys win will make me happy too. Jan also, hey, you guys kill it. We'll see what happens. I'd definitely be looking in their news to see how their AI mentions have been and what kind of AI tools they're working on. Because I just think about it, like Zune talked about it right now, right? The graphics AIs are pretty good. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a turnaround there in Palantir, back to 1250. I got to start making my decision here if Nvidia is going to go or not. It hasn't given me the signal, so I'm kind of going to be more on a wait and see mode instead of just jumping in here with size. With a different account that I can maybe risk a little bit, but the small account, I try to keep everything kind of more rigid. So instead of just jumping in here and not seeing Nvidia already rip, I'm just going to wait to see it, because if it happens, I'm pretty sure we'll start seeing the Qs kind of follow, Palantir kind of follow. So we'll see what happens there. All right, it's about 10:58. We're going to start wrapping it up, boys. You guys want to do a little bit of a wrap up? Any trades that you guys want to talk about on your day? And then, of course, I'll wrap it up on mine.
All right, I'll start here. I'll go real quick. We did scalp NA for a little bit, so we got some green on the screen, broke the schneid with some of the day trades. So I'll be looking for more safe, conservative setups throughout the course of the rest of the day. As far as actual things to watch, oh no. Why did you do that? Okay. BMR is what we're going to be watching, right? BMR is kind of holding below the 631 key level that we identified, as well as the VWAP. Watch for a volume pop to flow back into this. If we move through one or two of these levels, or even all three of them on some volume, this could be a decent long side trade. So in addition to that, I'm also going to be watching to see where Nvidia and the rest of the market finishes. We'll be right back at this tomorrow.
All right, we'll see what happens. Of course, any last comments from you, Zunaid?
Yeah, you've got this range between 160 and 120 on Nvidia. Excuse me, on AMD. Nvidia's on my mind like my ex, but nonetheless, see if you can break out above 120. Best of luck with your trades. Y'all stay green.
All right, smash the like for that one, like always, team. And when we return, you guys will be joined by my man, of course, AB, and we'll be switching over to All Access. I thought of no better way than let you guys know a little bit about Benzinga Pro, and then we'll switch over to All Access.
Did you know that nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? In fact, a research paper from the Federal Reserve analyzed more than 900,000 news stories and concluded.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's All-Access, the only place on YouTube that you as retail investors get access to executives from publicly traded companies. I'm excited today to be joined by an exciting company, the Millennial Potash. We have the chairman, Farid Abazev. So let's go ahead and bring Farid on the stream. All right, how are you doing today? Welcome to Benzinga's All Access.
Hi, Aaron. Good. How you doing?
Good. So before we get started, you want to give us just a brief introduction of what Millennial Potash is?
Of course. Aaron, Millennial Potash has been developing its previously explored potash project in Gabon, which is in West Africa. And we've been working on this project only 3 months. So it's a brand new project, and again, it's in a well-known potash basin in West Africa, and we think that this is going to have a significant upside potential as we go forward with our exploration program.
Yeah, so do you mind explaining for maybe some of our investors in the audience who don't know what is potash?
Yeah, of course, Aaron. So potash is one of the key fertilizers. So used obviously in agriculture worldwide. It is probably one of the most important fertilizers out there, along with phosphate and nitrogen. And there are only a handful of producers worldwide, but as you can imagine, the entire world consumes potash. So it is a very important element in our lives, especially going forward with obviously population growing and more demand for food going forward as well.
Got it. Well, I understand. Let's flip over to slide one. I want to talk a little bit about the management team. I understand, a strong management team. Anything you want to highlight here?
Yeah, look, Aaron, I'll start with the fact that this is our third potash project. So this team has been together for almost 17 years. The previous 2 potash projects were in Africa and Saskatchewan in Canada. Both of them were taken from basically the same level of development as this one is at now. And to the point where we finished the feasibility study, we got the mining permit in place, and then we exited through very successful M&A transactions. The first one we took, it was called Potash One, from about $40 million market cap to the exit at $434 million. And the last one was called Atlanta Potash, from about $7 million market cap to $170 million. And the most recent project that we worked on as a team was actually a lithium project called Millennial Lithium. We started with that project in 2017 and exited again early last year, sold the company to another Canadian company called Lithium Americas for $490 million. So this is that team. Incredible experience in potash and in mining sector in general. And you can see some heavy hitters there. Paul Matisic, who has built and sold multiple companies. Rick LaCroix, who used to be Senior VP of Potash Corp, which is today known as Nutrien, one of the largest potash producers in the world. So the team is back to build this one now.
Yeah, and so I understand that there's been some recent news regarding this guy down here, Paul Matisic. Recently, was he recently announced as the senior strategic advisor?
Yes, absolutely. So Paul is the recent addition to the team, Aaron. And Paul has been in mining business for almost 40 years. Most importantly, Paul and I have worked together on 2 major projects in the past. Energy Metals, again, very successful uranium company that was sold for $1.8 billion about over 10 years now back. And then the other one was Potash One with a project in Saskatchewan. Paul was the president and CEO of that company, and that company was sold to a German potash producer called Kaido and Salzer, K plus S, for $434 million. And they actually put that project in production. Now it produces over 2 million tons of potash per year in Saskatchewan. So Paul just joined the team. So basically we've enhanced the team even further. Now it's heavily potash oriented. So probably I would say, Aaron, this is the best potash team out there in the junior space right now.
Got it. So, what right now is interesting to you in terms of trying to, grow the bottom line and attract more investors to the company over the next year, couple years or so?
So look, Aaron, a couple of things here. The project itself is stellar in that it has seen significant exploration in the past. So we know that upside is going to be significant. I think we'll talk about the previous exploration in more detail later on. But it's also in a very good jurisdiction. It's in Gabon in West Africa, one of the best, I would say, and most stable jurisdictions in Africa. That's very important for two reasons. One is permitting environment is very positive and favorable. And two, of course, we can attract Western capital as well as Asian capital to the country. And then when the time comes, we can probably exit very successfully. The other thing here is that, we've put together a very ambitious development plan. So going forward, we want to start drilling in the next few weeks and drill out the northern part of the project, the shallow part of the project, so to speak, the next couple of probably 3 months or so, and put out our maiden resource estimate by September, October of this year, and then start with the preliminary economic assessment. And hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be able to finish our PEA. While we're doing PEA, we're going to move our drill rig down to the south and start drilling the deeper horizon. So we're going to have a very busy second half of the year, starting basically in the next few weeks. And so there will be quite an interesting news flow as we go forward with this project.
Beautiful. So let's go ahead and flip the slide to the next one and tell us about the past exploration drilling at the Millennial Potash project.
Sure. I don't know whether I can flip. Can I flip it here? Oh,
there we go.
Here we go. Perfect. So look, I think this is probably the most important slide in our presentation because it really shows to our shareholders and, of course, our prospective shareholders the real potential of the project. So originally it was drilled in the 70s, an oil and gas company out of France drilled in the southern part of our project, obviously looking for hydrocarbons. They went down to about 1,200 meters, and instead of oil and gas, they intersected very healthy, thick potash horizons. And then in 2017, 2018, an Australian junior exploration company came to this area, and they targeted potash specifically. And 20 kilometers to the northwest of the hydrocarbon wells, they drilled shallow potash holes, and at a depth of about 230 meters, they started intersecting very healthy potash horizons. So just based on those 3 holes that they drilled in 2017, 2018, in other words, not taking into consideration the historical hydrocarbon wells, they put out a massive maiden resource estimate, JORC compliant maiden resource estimate of 1.7 billion tons at 16% KCl. So we know that there is JORC compliant resource in place. Our job now is to reconfirm it, bring it into compliance with 43-101, and obviously expand it further. So, and this is just a small part of the entire area. Our project area is almost 1,200 square kilometers. And one other thing that I want to add here is that this is in a well-known West African potash basin. So this is basically extension of potash basin that we've seen in the Republic of Congo down to the south.
Got it. And then I understand that recently the Millennial Potash has reinterpreted historic seismic data from your Banio. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Banio Potash project.
That's correct.
What did the initial interpretation show? And I think
So
we might
Aaron,
have to flip a couple. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, this is it. Perfect. So look, there were 3 different seismic programs shot over our area, and in the last 10 years or so. And what this did, the reinterpretation of seismic basically indicated that there's this tremendous potential throughout the southern part of the project, which actually added further to our confidence in potential resource down the road. So just to put it in kind of a simple terms, as you can see on this graph, we've defined a very thick salt sequence. So basically, a salt sequence is the horizons within which potash-bearing cycles or potash-bearing layers are located or present. And we can see very thick salt sequence, 400 meters in the north and up to 800 meters in the south. So that indicates that the mother lode of potash is actually in the south. And what is also important about this seismic reinterpretation is that it correlates well with what we've seen in the Republic of Congo as well. So in other words, we've seen that the thicker the salt sequence, the higher the probability all 10 potash-bearing horizons are going to be present. So that's very important. And one other thing I want to add here, Aaron, is that the presence of salt sequence is over a very large area, 300 square kilometers. So that's another kind of, I would say, indication that there will be a significant resource in the ground as we go forward with the exploration program.
Got it. So I understand we talked about Gabon. Are there any other important nations when it comes to, importing and exporting potash?
Yes, Aaron, look, I mean, this is a good map to kind of give an insight into what's going on in the potash world. So there are only a handful of companies that actually produce significant amount of potash. I would say probably, barely a half a dozen of them. And most of them are in the Northern Hemisphere. So the producers are mostly in Saskatchewan, in Canada, in Russia, Belarus, in Germany, in the Middle East, those are Israelis and Jordanians, a little bit of production coming out of Western China, Laos, very little in Utah in the US, and then it's Spain and Chile. That's about it. The rest of the world, as you can imagine, consumes potash. The largest importing nations are Brazil, 12 million tons a year, followed by the US and China, 10 million tons each, and then India, about 5 million tons a year. So those are, I would say, the largest consumers. Now, for us, obviously, the proximity to Brazil will be critical. It is the largest importing nation in the world after all, but also Africa itself consumes between 2 and 3 million tons a year, depending on the year, and there's no domestic production on the continent. So obviously our production will be destined, I would say, half of it will be for Africa. The other half most likely will go to Brazil.
That's understandable. So to summarize, what do investors have to look forward? I know you answered some of this earlier, but, throughout the rest of 2023 and maybe into 2024 a little bit.
Yeah, so look, the next few steps for us will be the start of drilling, also reinterpretation of the drill cores that we have on our side from the previous drill program. That's very important as well, to have a better understanding of what has been done before us. But obviously, our drill program will be key. So in the next few weeks and months, we'll start drilling. And the first major, I would say, news will be on actual drill results, followed by the maiden resource estimate. Again, really focused or based on the northern part of the project. And then later this year, we'll also do PEA. And hopefully, PEA results will be positive while we're also doing more expansion drilling in the south of the property. So next year, we'll have a revised or expanded resource estimate, hopefully by the end of the first quarter. And then if both the PEA and the results of the resource estimate are positive, then we'll go straight into feasibility study. And along with the feasibility, we'll also start on environmental studies. That's our approach. That has been our approach with our previous project as well. If the PEA is positive, we'll go straight into the bankable feasibility study. So that's where we stand. So basically, I think by the end of the first quarter next year, we'll be in a position to pull the trigger on the feasibility study.
Well, there you have it. Well, Farhad, thank you for joining us on Benzinga's All-Access. I had a great time learning more about your business. Looking forward to seeing how it develops throughout the next year or so. Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. Have a good day.
Alrighty, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Benzinga's All-Access. We are going to be starting with Benzinga Live coming up here in about 15 minutes. This stream is set to redirect you there, so you do not need to go anywhere. Do not touch your remote controls. Do not touch your mouses. Do not touch your keyboards, because we'll be starting up right here in a few minutes. I'll see you guys then. Hope everyone stays green. Hope everyone doesn't, do anything crazy. Don't go buy some crazy options between now and then, because we've got some trades to talk about. We've got Robert Roy is not joining us today, but we have Steve Kalasian. We have Adam Finance coming on around 12:30. We might get a surprise appearance from Options Mike, so I'm excited for today's episode of Benzinga Live. I'll see you guys there in 15 minutes.